I think that's one of the reasons why you're here. That doesn't mean there aren't things to invest in, including and especially yourself, okay, and ways to go faster and to scale, right? But the point is that this is very, very accessible. So you're in a big game and you're doing it in a way that you can really flex your muscles without a whole lot of inhibition. All right. So now, a couple other things on that, because this whole idea of needs and wants comes up. Ralph Waldo Emerson, I call him Ralph, like I know the guy. You guys know I've been studying philosophy for 35 years. But Ralph Emerson said that your income will be in direct correlation with three factors. All right, so listen to this. Number one is the demand for what you do. That's where marketing comes in. We're going to augment that demand. Number two is your ability to do it or to deliver it. How good is Bob the plumber at doing the plumbing, right? So your ability to deliver. Number three would be the difficulty there would be in replacing you. And it's not difficult to find a lot of amateurish efforts, right? So people, weekenders, they come, they go, I'll try, whatever that means, right? So you get good at, doing some marketing. You are all creative, right? And we already identified that we all have a unique approach to this, right? So it's impossible to saturate. But you become prolific with this stuff, you're going to be delivering at a very high level, and therefore you're going to be very hard to replace. All right. So those three factors, okay, the demand for what you do, again, that could be needs or wants, right? There's a major difference between intrinsic value and perceived value. You guys know what I mean by that? So intrinsic value. So in my case, I'm an author, okay, and here's a book, right? What is the intrinsic value of the paper? $1, maybe, not even, I don't know. Okay, who cares? What is the perceived value or the subjective value of that? Well, if the information in the book makes you $1 million, all right. So we're not talking about needs. We're talking about wants, desires, demands. Okay. So consider that now. Here's you're the author now of the coffee cup, the T-shirt, the whatever the item is that we're going to exchange for. Okay. Millions of different combinations.
Yeah, I should have put this on the beginning.
And all we got to do is create or augment that demand, because we're actually entering a conversation that's already going on in the mind of the person who wants that solution. They just don't know you exist yet, right? So that's what Emerson talked about. I'm going to give you. This is really cool stuff. All right, think about this. When you're choosing to go into a market, which you're all choosing to do now, because we're going into a subjective value marketplace, right? The book that's worth 10 cents worth of paper is now $20. Okay, the coffee cup that's worth 50 cents is now worth $30. So you're making a proper markup. But when I was talking with one of my colleagues, who's made millions more than I have, by the way, about when he chooses to go into a market, what does he look for before he invests and before he really puts energy into that? He said there's three criteria that he looks for. This is cool stuff. Number one is that it is a large marketplace. In other words, he's not trying to sell magic Martian rocks to the two people on planet Earth who are interested in those kind of wacky things, right? So there's a large audience for this kind of a thing. That doesn't mean you're vanilla. If you're vanilla, you're ignored. Okay, so we're not targeting the whole world. Okay, we're still going to target. Okay, but there's lots of people that like that kind of stuff. Okay, number two is that they're findable. That you can know where these people are. They're not hiding under a rock. So, for example, gardening, which is not my thing, but if it was my thing, you'd find me reading gardening magazines and Better Homes and Gardens, and on the Facebook gardening group with the tomato people, we grow the best tomatoes, and my tomatoes are better than your tomatoes, right? So there's a whole conversation they're already in, and there's media that they're consuming, right? Media, various things, where you can impinge upon them, you can find them,
Tomatoes.
and not throw millions of dollars at advertising. That falls on deaf ears. All right, so they're findable. That's the second criterion. The third one, they are irrationally passionate about whatever the subject matter, whatever the offer is. Okay, give you an example from my own life. You guys know I ride a Harley, so if you don't, now you do. Harley Davidson is like, it's not just a machine, right? It's like a whole culture. Anyway, so last time I was in Dubai. Any of you have been to Dubai? Dubai? No? Not yet. Good answer. Okay, so Dubai is just made of money. Like everywhere you look, Lamborghini, Rolls Royce, Ferrari, money, 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 tallest buildings in the world. They got a shopping mall there where they actually built a man-made ski slope inside the building. right? It's 130 degrees Fahrenheit outside, and they're skiing down snow on a mountain. I don't know what their electric bill is. I guess it doesn't matter, right? The whole place is made of money. I was in the other shopping mall, the Dubai Mall, where I had the best tandoori chicken I've ever had in my life in the food court. Oh my goodness, I was thinking food court, it's going to be crap. No, gourmet. All right. And then I'm walking down the hallway past the sharks in the aquarium, full-size sharks, right? And I'm walking under the starry sky, the blacked out ceiling with the twinkling stars. And I'm walking down the hallway and I see Harley Davidson of Dubai. You got to be kidding me, right? So I walk in, of course I do, right? And I pay, I don't remember what it was in dirham, that's their currency, but probably $40 American for a t-shirt because it said Harley Davidson of United Arab Emirates and had a picture of the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world, right? Was that rational?
No.
I'm wearing a better shirt than that right now.
Yes.
So, yeah, did I buy it anyway? So, it's not about me. Just make sure you got that. It's not about me. So this is where we're going with your business. I hope now you've got some perspective about, number one, how big the game is and what your role in it is. Unapologetically, we're going to impinge and we're going to exchange. We're going to transfer enthusiasm unapologetically. Are we all good with that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Resounding yes. Thank you, sir. Maybe we can get your camera going. Here's what I want to do now. This is something I promised you that you may not recall. I said this because it was very brief when we first met on a welcome session. I said that I'm going to be showing you what I did personally to transition out of corporate once and for all and into full-time business and entrepreneurship and having made millions. So I'm going to do that now. And this is like, well, let me say this. It's extremely predictable because everyone who does what I'm about to show you has to succeed. In any business, any industry, it always works. It's that predictable. Okay? In fact, the way I found this, I'll tell you a little story. So let's go back 20-something years, right? So here I was working my job. Yes, I actually worked a job at one point. And I was in this corporation, and I was miserable. It was 80 hours a week, nonstop work. In fact, I was making about $10,000 a month, which some people might say, oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, okay, well, that wasn't my goal, right? My goal was to make $20,000 a month. And I could never do it in that job, no matter how hard I worked. In fact, they cut my pay. They cut my pay 3 times that last year. They called it a promotion, too. That's nice, right? Yeah, there's your promotion, Clarence, right? Sign here.
Yes.
And so I was under control, basically. All right, and it was actually killing me. I ended up in the hospital with a stress-induced colon infection. I was unconscious. This is my early 30s, right? Doctors told my wife, we had just gotten married a few months prior. They said, your husband will be dead in 5 years if he keeps going. Yeah, how's that sound, right? So I had to go home and recover and whatever. And my wife had to go out of town for a couple of days to a wedding or something. And so I just locked myself in my house and like meditated on, how did I attract all this adversity to myself? I mean, I'm motivated. I'm showing up. I got goals, right? And yet Rome is burning all around me, right? Why is that? And so after some thought, I had a kind of a moment of clarity. And sometimes that's all you get is a moment, right? I mean, it can come and go, Jacqueline, right? So I had a flash of insight. I was like, one door closes and another opens. But it's dark in the hallway. I can't see the door that's opening. Where's the door? I don't know how to reach a goal. And in fact, no one knows how to reach a goal until they've reached it. But what was evident to me is that I was barking up the wrong tree. I was in the wrong vehicle. And in fact, the reality of everything crumbling all around me was actually an indicator that I was really getting close to that next level, right? You see, you don't get to stay comfortable with 1 foot on this cliff and then 1 foot on the other cliff, right? You got to jump. Right. So,
yes.
Yeah. So I was about to get really unreasonable with myself because what I know, what's familiar, what's secure, whatever that means, right, was this world, which was killing me. And it was time for me to jump. So anyway, a couple days later, I emerged from my house triumphantly and went out into society, and I went to a store. And on my way out of the store, I found an advertisement. Somebody impinged on me, right, for a business that was expanding and looking for people who wanted to make about $20,000 a month. Then I thought, yeah, right, you know what, it's probably a scam. I've seen everything. There's no way this could be, right? But I gotta know. So I called the toll-free number. Back in those days, you called the toll-free number for more information. Right. And I did my due diligence. I checked it out up and down. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is right. This is right. So sort of like law of attraction stuff, right? So anyway, I made a decision to get started. That's an important word, by the way. Decision. That's not a whimsical thing. Okay. Decision comes from the Latin root word decidere, which means to cut off from. So I cut myself off from any other possible outcome. I shall have this goal, right? I shall not be denied. Okay. So here's all the universe of possibilities. I'm cutting off this one. That's a decision. Okay. Not try. And here's what I did. Well, let me say this. Here's what I was not interested in. I was not interested in what the average person does, what's the average earnings or whatever. I couldn't care less, right? Average by definition is unremarkable, and that is not my goal. Okay, is that anyone's goal here, to be unremarkable? No? April, unremarkable? No? Okay, very good. I'm talking to the right people. Okay, very good. So I wanted to know who's sitting on the throne, who's got the crown, who is blowing this thing up, right? And these were people making not 20,000 a month, 50, 100,000 a month plus. Okay, so what did I do? I put my ass on planes and I went and met these people. I went to events. I sought these people out. I interviewed them. I asked them one main question. The question was, what are you doing? and they told me, right? Ask and it shall be given you. So, and out of all the people I talked to, there were 5 things that kept coming up. 5 common principle-based actions that they all did. They all said it a little bit differently. Some were more eloquent than others, whatever. I wound up writing these things down, codifying them, and putting them to use in my life. And within 90 days, after having missed my goal for years, within 90 days, I was making 20,000 a month.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. I walked into my boss's, listen to this, I walked into my boss's office and I told him, sir, I can no longer afford to work for you. I figure I lose a couple $1,000 every day I show up here.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what he said to me? He said, John, don't forget me because someday I'm going to be looking to get out of here too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Anyway, I've been since I discovered this, I've been teaching it ever since. It's now gone for a few generations of entrepreneurs, and it's been responsible for well over $100 million in profit for anybody who uses it. So this is like, if you'd like to take notes on anything, now would be a good time, because these are the 5 principle-based activities that set me free, and I'm now going to give them to you. So, number 1, listen to the words, okay? Every top earner knows where they're going. Knows where they're going. Harpreet, if I asked you right now, what color is the sky? What would you say?
Blue.
Blue. Okay. Do you hope that it's blue?
No, it's blue.
Do you believe it's blue? Can we debate that, maybe?
No, it's a fact.
In fact, okay. So no Q&A. I can't talk you out of that deal. Okay. That's a knowing. That's a knowing right there. So there's a scale of knowingness. We could say at the bottom is ignorance. I know not. Okay. And at the top could be total enlightenment, which I haven't achieved yet. And then the on-ramp could be like hope. Okay, but hope is not a strategy, right? I hope it happens to me. That's not knowing, right? Above that, we got a belief. That's better, right? Belief. And above that is knowing. Now we're getting really high on the scale. Okay. So when we talk about a knowing, we're talking about experiential knowledge. Okay. Harpreet didn't even have to go outside and look. She already knows. She's experienced it for real many, 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 many times. Okay. So that's above a belief. That's a knowingness. So when we talk about knowing where we're going, we're talking about our goals. Okay. That we start to experience our goals in advance as a guaranteed future outcome. A guaranteed future outcome. Again, decision. Cutting off point. Okay. I shall not be denied. You're all familiar with like the SMART goals strategy. I think we talked about this in one of our calls.
Yeah.
SMART goals. Yes? No. Okay. So SMART goals. SMART is an acronym. SMART. Right. S stands for specific. So specifically, what do you want? Right. I've asked you that question via the forms that you guys have been filling out, including that last pre-session exercise. Right. What do you want? Great question. Profound question. right? Specifically, nothing vague about this. If you're vague, you get to be vague, okay? That's not a decision. In my case, $20,000 a month, job-free lifestyle, and I always wanted a new Lexus. And I could never afford one working the job. And it wasn't just any Lexus. It was the silver Lexus with the gray leather interior, the leather seats. It smells so good. The wood steering wheel, all the options. Yeah, the Mark Levinson sound system, the little sunshade that goes up and down the back window when you click the button so the kids don't get too hot. I knew everything about that car. I read the brochure every day. I knew every word in the brochure. I knew every picture. I told the salesman, I'll be back in 90 days. And he probably thought, yeah, right, whatever. Within 90 days, I had exactly that car. Exactly. Nothing vague about this. Okay? Specific. All right? M stands for measurable. So now we can quantify. All right, what does it cost? All right, money. We can see that we're moving in the right direction. Or like with a weight loss goal, it could be how many pounds or kilos, right? Weight loss. So measurable, right? A is achievable. Achievable. Well, has anybody else done this? Are you the first person? No, lots of people make $20,000 a month and drive Lexus. They're building Lexus right now. For somebody, for you, I don't know. Maybe you could answer that question. Okay, great. So achievable. R stands for relevant, and this is probably the most important part of goal setting. Okay, so relevant to who? Remember Earl Nightingale's definition of success: the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Worthy to who? Oh, worthy to you. So nobody can set your goal for you. And when we say relevant, we're talking about emotion. Remember, all sales are based on emotion. And who are we selling right now? This is the biggest sale you can make. Okay? Okay. So how does it feel? Here's the question. Here's the question, Dennis. How does it feel? Not what do you think, but how does it feel to live in the mansion on Grand Bank?
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful, beautiful. You happy?
I'm gratitude.
Grateful.
Grateful.
Yeah. Accomplished. Empowered. Confident. Pick the words that are most powerful for you. You see, these are all emotive words, which reveal what? The relevance of the goal. This isn't about logic, okay? Especially if we're looking for an unreasonably good result, we're going to have to go beyond reason. We're going to get a little bit unreasonable with ourselves. Reason is limited based on what we already know, right? I know, based on my mental faculty of reason and memory, that I should not walk out in front of that speeding car because it will destroy my body, right? So reason is very useful. That's nice, okay? We're going to use some higher mental faculties, like intuition, like imagination, which is not limited by what we already know, okay? Remember, nobody knows how to reach a goal until they've reached it. We're not talking about how to. We're talking about what do you want and how does it feel once you got it. That's relevant. Even if your goal includes, take the kids to Disney World or something, which includes other people, it's still relevant to you. All right? And T stands for time. So Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time allowed for it. And there's always going to be something more urgent, not more important, but more urgent than you reaching your goals. Life happens, right? Here's all the other things impinging upon you. We got to tighten it up, right? We got to put in some discipline. We got to create some order. One of the first things I had to learn to do when I was becoming successful is reduce the amount of time it takes to get stuff done. And imperfect and done beats perfect and not done. Sitting there in a state of perfectionism, which is another way to say procrastination and indecision, okay? That doesn't get it done, okay? So we'll have plenty of time to polish and optimize, okay? But we got to get stuff done. And most people give themselves too much time because they base their expectations on whatever their level of performance was yesterday, which sets no precedent for where we're going tomorrow, unless you say it does, right? So we got to tighten it up, right? Raise our necessity level on this stuff. Okay, so SMART, right? That's a SMART goal, and we're going to start experiencing it now, before the Lexus is in the driveway. Is this making sense, you guys?
Yes.
Very good. Okay, because look, if you don't got number one, you got no shot. If you don't know where you're going, you're out of the game. Throw the course in the garbage. Okay? That's number one. Okay. The second, principle-based action. Every top producer does daily personal development study. Daily study. In fact, you guys are already doing it. You're halfway home. You may not even know it. You're that close. Okay? Why do you think I recommended all those books? Because I like to just tell you to go read or something? No, well, readers are readers, okay? But I don't even get commissioned on that. If I did, it'd be 50 cents, okay? But no, read. Sometimes people ask me, John, how did you become this great author and speaker and, you're giving a lecture and you got exactly the right words at exactly the right time? How does that happen? And I say, well, first of all, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck yesterday, man. I know some stuff, right? Secondly, I've invested over $300,000 so far into my own education after leaving government schools and whatever they're teaching there, right? I mean, there's one of my bookshelves. Yeah, so I got words, you know, I got nouns, got verbs, adjectives. Yeah, I got words. So here's the thing: in the moment of truth, when you're executing, when you're doing your work, right? The pressure's on, right? Think about squeezing an orange, right? What are you going to get? Apple juice? No. You get whatever's in there. You get orange
juice.
So what you put in is what's going to come out. You're going to have lots of ammo, lots of words. Keep in mind the business we're in, sales and marketing, right? That's based on what? Communication. Coffee cups don't just spring up out of the ground spontaneously, right? Somebody has to originate that stuff. Hopefully somebody with some words. Hopefully somebody who can impinge upon their ideal target audience and enter a conversation that's already going on in their brain and induce emotion. Transfer. Sold. Here, take some of this worthless money. I cannot live without that product that I didn't know existed 5 seconds ago. Take some of this worthless money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now we are building, like I've often said, more important than what we're doing is who's doing it. Hopefully somebody who studies. All right. So you're already on that path if you've been following my instruction. Right. That was all for a good reason. All right. So keep on that path. That's the second thing. The third principle-based action that every top producer does: daily income-producing activities. Daily income-producing activities. Well, we talked about consistency. Habits beat heroics. In fact, I gave you a quote from Albert Gray, the common denominator of success. Do you guys remember what that is? The common denominator of success? When we first met, I gave you that? No? Okay. So Albert Gray said that he was looking for the one thing that every successful person who had ever succeeded at anything has done. And he found it. Seek and you shall find. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The common denominator of success is that successful people have formed the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. And it's not because we're lucky. Oh, I'm so lucky. I like doing these things, and so sad for you if you don't. No, I don't like doing them either. I just do them so consistently that it becomes habitual, and I don't have to think about it. Before I can talk myself out of it, it's already done. Right? And why am I willing to do that? Because I've got a goal. Back to the first thing, right? Here's a big, tasty carrot right here. Keep looking at the carrot. Keep looking at the carrot, right? Next thing you know, the work's getting done before you can talk yourself out of it, right? Because as easy as it is to do the right thing, it's even easier to just not do it, right? And that's what most people do. Not do it, right? We get distracted and all this kind of stuff. And the more you do this consistently, the income-producing actions, that doesn't mean that because you planted a seed today, you're eating corn tomorrow. There's a gestation period for everything, but we're intelligent people. We can defer gratification a little bit. That's fine, okay? But because we have that understanding, we're able to get consistent with things that most people would rather go watch kitten videos on YouTube or whatever they're doing. You know, the average American watches 7 hours of television a day.
What
How
a
do they get
waste.
anything done? Yeah. Yeah. How do they get anything done? Well, they don't, right? I guess that's the punchline. So don't be that, right? Don't be that. It's like the parable from the Bible of the sower, right? You sow the seeds. So some seeds fall on rocks and some seeds fall on the thorns, choke them out, and some seeds got eaten by the crows, but some seeds took root and the bounty was plentiful and running over and beautiful harvest, right? So what's your job? Sow the seeds. Sow the seeds, okay? The harvest is coming, sow the seeds, right? This is the season to sow. So be the sower. And you're going to be in good shape. In fact, you're going to have no competition. Back to what Ralph Emerson said. The demand for what you do, your ability to do it, there's where your competence comes in. And the difficulty there would be in replacing you, which you have pretty much no competition at this point. All right? That's number 3. Daily income producing action. Number 4, you guys following me so far?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, very good. So number 4, every top producer has immersed themselves in the environment of success. You want to immerse yourself in the environment of success. And not just success as a theory, but success as an actuality. Okay, so an example would be, let's say I wanted to learn a new language, Japanese. Anybody here know Japanese? Me neither. Okay, great. So I could get a book on Japanese and, look at it 10 minutes a day or whatever. And, maybe in 2 or 3 years, I could have half a conversation with a Japanese guide, possibly. I don't know, maybe. Or I could just move to Tokyo. right? And now everywhere I look, Japanese, Japanese, Japanese. Not in theory, for real. Okay? In fact, you're going to learn really quick. You want to eat, you want to order your fish heads and rice or whatever they're eating over there, you're going to learn really quick. All right? So that's the immersion technique. I call this the great accelerator for a couple of reasons. In fact, let me say this. This is especially important if you are currently finding yourself in an environment which is antagonistic towards your purposes. Ignorant but well-meaning friends, family, and neighbors. Oh, Jacqueline, you joined one of those scams. Nobody makes money in those kind of things, Clarence. Harpreet, you got to be kidding me. Why don't you get a real job? Right? So we've got to counter that with the correct environment. Because I could take a perfectly healthy seed, like an acorn, right, and throw it on a glacier in Siberia or something, and it's going to die. It's going to die. All right? So here's why this will accelerate your progress. Two things. Number one is that you're going to be able to model others who have come before you and walk the path and save yourself a ton of time. Okay? So I've got role models in my life. Rachel could be a role model for e-commerce, right? She's highly developed in that area. I don't know about the rest of her life, but when it comes to e-commerce, wow, she knows some stuff, right? So what would Rachel do, right? My wife is my role model. She's very gracious, right? She's very patient with the foibles of others. Me, not so much, but she is very gracious, right? She is not my role model when it comes to keeping her desk organized. No, right? In fact, I should be her role model. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think she can hear me. She's in the other room. Okay. So I'm not looking for like a messiah or something. I'm looking for role models, plural, and that I can assimilate the ideal characteristics. Remember, Earl Nightingale, progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Okay. Well, that would be the ideal for me based on my perspective right now. So let me be more like them in that way, right? And we can amass this stuff and emerge as here's the ultimate, the powerful Avril or Dennis or Jacqueline, right? So that's what we're looking to do. So modeling, that's a huge accelerator. The second thing this is going to do for you is take down the imaginary walls between who you think you are and who you think these special, successful people are. You cannot be a part from and be a part of. Okay? You must decide which group you're in. I remember being at an event where there was like 1,000 people in the audience, and then behind the velvet ropes, like literally velvet ropes, behind the ropes were these untouchables, these amazing celebrity type people, right? Oh, so incredible. That's not you, right? You're not in the in crowd, right? You're out here with the peasants, the commoners, right? You cannot remain a peasant and be a top producer, right? In fact, society does this. This reinforces every day, whether you know it or not. It's very subtle sometimes. So let's say you're in the grocery store, right? And you're at the checkout, right? And you look up to the left, and what do you see? All the gossip rags, the celebrity magazine, right? People magazine and all this stuff. These are important people, by the way. They're getting divorced. Their kids are on drugs, right? These are people you should pay money now because you're interested in them. They're not interested in you, but you should be interested in them. These people are special. See that? There's an imaginary wall of separation between you and the special people. That wall has to come down. And when we immerse ourselves in the environment of success, we show up at the events, the trade shows. Rachel's doing a lecture. Be there, right? So all that kind of stuff, we become part of that group. So this is the mental shift. You guys are the future. By the way, if you say you are, you are. Like right now, me and Rachel and our staff, we see you as the future of this deal. I mean, what's the whole point of leadership? But to have the next generation be better, stronger, faster than the previous one, right? So you can own that for yourself, all right? Just know,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, very good. So immerse yourself. By the way, again, you guys are already doing this. Why do you think I host these daily calls? Because I like to hear myself talk. Well, I maybe like that too. Okay, but no, this is the environment where the success you seek is happening all around you. You see some of the changes that are happening with people on these calls? Transformation, man. Past the collection basket. Unreal what's going on in the mindset, right? The data's already there. The tactics, the how-to stuff. Yeah, a monkey could do that, right? Who's doing it, right? Immerse yourself in that environment. You guys getting this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. The fifth, principle-based activity. And this will make you more money than anything I can teach you. It may sound a little bit weird. Every top producer has cultivated the expectation of leadership and success. Cultivate the expectation of leadership and success for yourself and for anyone you allow in your environment. You give me a quote for, this is from Goethe, the great German philosopher, Johann Goethe. He said, if I treat you as you are, I'll make you worse. But if I treat you as though you were that which you could become, I'll help you become that. What does that mean? If I treat you as you are, I'll make you worse. Here's the thing. If I intend to serve any of you, and I do, okay, but if I intend to serve you, I cannot treat you as your past, your limitations, your circumstances, your problems. No. That was yesterday, that was last year, that was 5 seconds ago. That's not now. Right now, as in right now, I see you, Jacqueline, as the person with the 6-figure income doing the nature walks and the dancing.
Yes.
Okay? That's right.
Congratulations.
That's who I'm talking
Thank
to.
you.
Well, hold on, because we're not done. Dennis, $2,800 a day. Where'd you come up with that number? I like that number. Let's do that on Granite Bay. I'll see you there. Okay? Full expectation. That's who I'm talking to. Not you, your problems, your circumstances. Okay? What this really comes down to is a 3-word philosophy I talked about in my first book. It's just 3 words. Be, do, have. Be, do, and have. In that order. Okay? Most people, I'll give you some contrast here, most people do the exact opposite. Give you a little conversation. See if this sounds familiar. Okay? Well, if I only had better circumstances, like more money or a better education, or if I was married to somebody else besides that guy sitting next to you, April, or if I lived in a different, city, or, if I had more luck, whatever that means, right? If I had these circumstances, well, then you see, I could do the thing. I could start the business. I could make those big decisions. I could, do the things that I always wanted to do.
None of that shit matters.
And then I would be successful. Then I would be the person I always wanted to be.
That's bullshit.
Guaranteed failure. Every time. Because what we're saying when we say
that's
that
right.
is circumstances are cause and we are effect.
That should be the other way
And guess
around.
what? Effects
We
don't
should be
create
the
effects.
effect.
Causes create effects.
Yeah.
So as long as we're assigning cause to what we have or don't have, our
Yeah.
circumstances, we lose every time. Okay? What we got to
Wow.
do is reverse that relationship where we are cause, circumstances are effect. And in fact, they are. Just look. They are the result of the decisions you made yesterday, which is dead, right? That's the past. Okay, great. So here's the question. Who are you? Back to step 1, right? How
Who
does
are
it
you?
feel? There's the question. If you're ever wondering who you are, how does it feel? Oh, I feel confident, enthusiastic, grateful. Dennis, what the words we were just talking about. Accomplished, certain. Oh, that's who we're signing up to do this job. Okay, great. Now, as that person, what decisions do you make when looking to advance your business or do all the other 4 things we were just talking about? Showing up at the event, doing daily study, daily income producing activities. That's the person who's making these decisions. Oh, okay. Now we know who's doing this. And then you'll have what that person has. It's be, do, and have in that order. It always works. Always, always, always. Try and find any area of life where this is not true. It's impossible. This is just how life works.
You gotta be
Okay?
first.
So be, do, and have. What we're talking about is the law of laws, according to Ralph Emerson. Cause and effect. That's the law of laws. Causes create effects. Effects don't create effects. Now, the downside to this, I suppose, if there is one, is that you don't get to be a victim anymore. Yep, you are responsible. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, you are responsible for all of it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
So
Good
I had
and
to face
bad.
this myself because I was faced. Remember, you guys, I talked about jumping off the cliff, right? That leap of faith. In the case of business that I was, looking to go full throttle with, it was about $30,000 that I didn't have. Actually, I talked to my mentor. There was like an event coming up, and I said, would me not going to this event stop me or slow me down? He said, yes, go to the event. So I got creative. I got unreasonable with myself. In other words, I had a cutting off point. I was like, great, not great. Let me figure this out. I figured it out, right? Put the money on the table. Got my ass on a plane. I had to go out of the country, all of this. And in fact, I said to him, look, I'm going to do this. In fact, I'm going to follow your instruction without question and without hesitation from this moment forward. So if I fail, it's your fault. And he laughed. And I said, I will do this or I will be a bloody corpse. One or the other. Half measures avail us nothing. There is no middle ground anymore. There is no try, as Yoda said. There is no try. You do or you do not. So I decided to do. That was the week I made $20,000 for the first time in a month. That week.
There is
Okay.
no try.
So what changed?
Yoda.
New data.
There is
new
do
opportunity.
or do not.
Change. Right here. This is what changed. I stopped playing to not lose, and I started to playing to win. I cultivated an expectation that if I do this, if I reach, if I hit this really freaking hard. I'm going to be having a whole conversation really soon, right? Cultivate that expectation for yourself. And I'm going to give you, you know what, guys? What time we got? My goodness, we've been talking an hour already. How did that happen?
Wow.
I still got stuff for Rachel for you.
We enjoying it.
Well, good.
Yes.
Anybody read this book?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. I've
Glad
read
you're
13
rich.
times cover to cover. I'm about to start number 14. Every word, verbatim, original text. This book took 20 years to write. It's one of the most influential books ever on wealth creation ever written.
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill was given 1 hour to make a decision. His teacher was Andrew Carnegie, the first billionaire. He said, look, it's going to probably take you 20 years. I'm going to introduce you to some of my friends, guys like William Wrigley, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Charles Schwab. These are the monsters of industry, right? Go live with these guys for a while, for 20 years, however long it takes, and write a book or do something to lift the common man out of poverty and fear. This came out during the Great Depression. All right, so a lot of wacky stuff going on, like kind of like now. A lot of wacky stuff going on in people's minds, right? Everything they can't do. So anyway, 20 years later, obviously Napoleon Hill said yes within the hour, and he got the job. Okay, but he wrote about what are these things that these awesome people are doing. This is in the chapter on decision. There's that word again, decision. It says here, analysis of several hundred people who had accumulated fortunes well beyond the $1 million mark disclosed the fact that every one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and of changing these decisions slowly if and when they were changed. People who fail to accumulate money, without exception, have the habit of reaching decisions, if at all, very slowly, and of changing these decisions quickly and often.
Oh,
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. He also said, procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which practically every individual must conquer. So let's look at the words. If procrastination is the opposite of decision, then procrastination and indecision are one and the same. Indecision. There's the enemy right there. Maybe, I'll try, and that's not a decision. You'll know you made a decision because you'll see your feet moving immediately, right? To decide but to not act is to not have decided. That's the cutting off point right there. Now, in this book, he said that there's a secret in the book, and if you find the secret, you will never submit to failure again. I have found several secrets in this book, and I'm going to share one of them with you right now. Listen to this. Remember, we're talking about cultivating the expectation of leadership, all right? Broadly speaking, there are two types of people in the world. One type is known as leaders, the other as followers. Decide at the outset whether you intend to become a leader in your chosen calling or remain a follower. The difference in compensation is vast. The follower cannot reasonably expect the compensation to which a leader is entitled, although many followers make the mistake of expecting such pay. Let me ask you this. Do you think most people are leaders or followers?
Follows.
Followers.
What about Rachel? Do you think Rachel's a leader or a follower?
Leader.
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 The difference in compensation is vast. You know, if everyone who needed this conversation was here in this room, we wouldn't have capacity for it. Right? We got a lot of weekenders. They come and they go. Okay? That's not how we see you. Back to Ralph Emerson, the law of laws, right? Cause, effect. Leader, follower. Producer, consumer. Entrepreneur, employee. Cause, effect. And when did he say to decide? Decide at the outset. Oh,
No,
you mean
now.
before I even pulled the trigger? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's be,
now.
do, and have. In that order. Who's doing it? A leader or follower?
Leader.
You got it. You got it, guys.
Mhm.
This is it.
Hello.
This is the trick. And that's why you will have no competition. Now, having integrity to these principles, while you're
Oh, the panel beater.
I called it integrity is everything. 'cause
No,
people,
I haven't.
They saw me become successful, and they were still walking around like it was a mystery or I had secrets or something. I'm like, no, I just did
Yeah.
to the best of my ability. I just applied this stuff into my life. And so, you know, here's a book. Now go read 200 pages, and now it won't be a secret anymore. But do it, right? That's the point. Do it. And if you do, you're special. What's that saying? Successful people are lucky. Just ask any failure, right? So, wow, you're amazing, Jacqueline. April, you're so special. Right? So get ready for that. If you apply this stuff consistently in your life. Anyway, you guys, it is my privilege you now have a nuclear weapon in your hands. Use it for good. All right, anything you want. You apply these 5 principle-based activities. World's your oyster. All right, so I hope you got a lot out of that.
Everyone give John a hand, please. Thank you, John. Come on. Oh my God.
Come on,
Thank
Dad.
you.
Sign me up.
Yes.
Okay, so I got some stuff from Rachel for you guys. So after all that, she has something for me to give you all. Let me share my screen. Let me see if you guys can tell me. Can you see my stuff?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
good. Here's the stuff. This is private, by the way. This does not leave this room. Okay, this is invitation only. I know a lot of you got word that there is some advanced group. Some of you have been asking about that. Again, we've read everything you've sent to us. And some of you are looking, how can I get more hands-on, personalized support? How can I go faster, work closely with Adam and Rachel and all this kind of stuff? Obviously, there's only so much Rachel to go around. And so for the last few months, they've been putting together what we call Launch 100. Right? This is the advanced group of people that are just crushing this. All right, mega rocket ship ride kind of stuff. This is about putting thousands of products in your portfolio, doing it quickly, not doing it alone, and doing it for pennies on the dollar. All right, so that's what this is about. And again, this is not for everyone. So as Rachel's saying here, let me go ahead and get here's the stuff. All right, so if you're the right person, this is what we're doing. It's no secret e-commerce is exploding. Yes, of course, we already talked about like Amazon statistics, for example, and it's not going away. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And just to be clear, this is for people who are as committed to your business as Rachel is, right? So if she's going to work with you and the head coaches and all this kind of stuff, then it's no maybes here. It is full throttle, end of story, full throttle. We have to succeed, have to, all right? So that's a decision. You've already got the basics, right? You got the low-hanging system, that's fine, okay? But if you participate in this, they're going to guarantee you results. And the guarantee, this is the bare bones minimum, that you will list at least 100 products during what we're calling the intensives. I'll show you what that is here in a minute. In fact, we're going to do that 3 times, and this is the bare bones minimum. And if you don't do it, well, then they're going to do it for you. So they're going to drag you kicking and screaming across the finish line if necessary. I don't think that is necessary, hence the invitation-only nature of this, all right? So, and again, these are minimum. Multiple streams of income.
Yeah.
Total spectacle, okay? So here's what they're doing.
No, not yet.
The first component is the Launchpad Intensives, which I think you learned a little bit about. Such a thing exists, right? Anyway, during your accelerator process. So these are workshops that are a day long, typically 6 to 8 hours, okay? Where, not theory, okay? For real, working with the coaches,
Okay.
putting at least 100 products on the table,
Yeah.
live
Okay.
in person in this workshop. Again, this is about creating multiple new sources
Yes, you can.
of potential, income in your business and doing that intensively. Now, this is going to happen once a month. That right now they're booking the next intensive. So again, your timing is impeccable. But we're going to do that once a month for 3 months. All right. So one intensive. You're not going to work that day. Call a babysitter. Do whatever you got to do. Okay, because this is intense. So there's that. That's the first component. From there, you got 12 personal coaching sessions with a head coach. So anything you need. This is closed door.
It's not what I want, mate.
So
Sorry. I don't want to do e-com.
Like hitting the panic button or whatever. Most people would like to do this more intensively. So this is designed to be like a 90-day experience. Okay, but you've got this available for your first year. From there, you've got 10 private group mastermind calls. So this happens every 2 to 3 weeks with Rachel and with other top experts. And this is, again, a closed door environment.
I'm not valuable paying thousands of fucking dollars because this is what this is going to be worth.
So you guys know, I'm not
Thousands.
Nor do you want me as your competition. Okay?
And you don't need to.
So this is non-disclosure agreements, right? Anything that's said in that room stays in that room, and you do that 10 times. All right. From there, personal account setup. So Amazon likes to throw curveballs at people, technology. I remember just being on a call today where 20 people had questions about stuff that I'm not expert in either, okay? So, nor can I solve your tech problem, okay? But these people can. And so, Amazon and Etsy and one other print-on-demand platform of your choice, all right? So, you are 100% ready to start selling, get all the tech out of the way. Let's do the important stuff now, okay? So, that's also in there. And as if all that wasn't enough, here is Amazon FBA done for you. So they're going to research and design some of the best possible products for your Amazon account, get those listings placed, get them optimized. And again, this is done for you. I think
Doesn't mean anything.
you all know that my wife and I run a branding and marketing agency. That's one of our core businesses. And anytime you say done for you, it's money, like real money. They're saying this is $5,000. I think they're shooting a bit low, but whatever. So done for you, and this is in addition to all the stuff you're doing in the intensives and with the coaches and all that. All right, so it doesn't get any better than done for you. Okay, so you got the Launchpad intensives, 3 of them, 12 personal coaching sessions, 10 mastermind groups, the Amazon, the accounts, right, to set up and all that, or the tweaking if you already got the basics set up. There's lots of ways to optimize that, and the done for you Amazon listings. All right. But wait, there's more. Here we go. So they're throwing the kitchen sink at this right now because, again, we're sort of in a pre-launch phase with all this. All right. So Etsy optimization master class. So this happened a couple months ago. It was about a 3-hour intensive session. They recorded the whole thing. They're looking to do it again, I think, next month, and you'll be invited. Okay. But right now the recordings are available on demand, right? So you can have that. Research techniques, optimization hacks, how to conservatively double or triple the number of people who see your product.
If you think that spending your money on this shit is going to help you become successful, think again, because it's not.
They also did that with Amazon. All right, so how do we stand above all that noise on Amazon?
That's the truth.
Big beast, right? Here's how we get unburied, and here's how we can actually list hundreds of products in less than a couple hours. Adam was actually telling me about this. Adam's the head coach. And hundreds of products in less than 2 hours. Yeah. So again, more hardcore, advanced kind of stuff. What else? They're gonna give you 2 more boxes of mugs, right? So obviously you've already got mugs. They want to give you, what is 2 cases of mugs is about $1,200 retail value, right? So take some more mugs, claim them within your first 6 months. You'll probably claim them within 6 weeks, okay? But there's some mugs, right? And there's some pictures in case you forgot what mugs look like. Those are mugs. And then we're going to Vegas. So this is the first ever Launch 100 Fest, live with Rachel, myself, Adam, top experts, guest speakers, 2 days, 2 nights. They're going to have a cocktail party.
Fucking thanks. Fuck off.
Activities as well. Plus Vegas, they're looking at doing it when it's not too hot out. Like right now, it's 120 degrees there. Okay, so so that's all being put on the calendar now for a few months down the road. Okay, so this is like the big show. In fact, you'll be obviously in there with like all the VIP treatments, et cetera.
A lot of shit,
anybody
mate.
ever been to Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I lived there. I lived there for 3 months.
Right. Okay. So you know that it's an interesting scene. By the way, airfare is not included, okay, because we're coming from all over the world and they can't predict, where you're coming from. Rooms may be included, okay, but as I'm sure you know, Clarence, it's not like Vegas. They'll practically give you away a room. They just want you on the gaming tables, right here.
Definitely.
Have the $5.99 lobster buffet, all you can eat, right? So it's about their economy is about gambling and shows and whatever. But we'll be there for the Launch 100 Fest. So that's the big show for us, and I will see you there. So here's what we got. Right, once again, this isn't for everyone. All right, so if you're accepted into the group, and I can let you all know.
Bullshit. If I'm accepted into the group, it's a matter of if I've got the money.
So you're definitely going to list at least 100 products.
And if I want to attend the bloody lecture, which I don't,
all right.
So fuck off.
So there is the intensives, the coaching sessions, the mastermind groups, the account setup and support, done for you FBA, Amazon and Etsy masterclasses, boxes of mugs, and the Vegas Launch 100 Fest. 20 grand. In fact, I was showing this to my wife. I said, look at this package. What do you think this is? She said, 30 grand all day long, 30,000. I said, well, it's not 30,000. She said, all right, 25. Well, it's not 25. But I said, even if all this did was get your business in momentum, pull out all the technical stops, get you working with an entire army of people working with you, and like Rachel and Adam, would it be worth 20 grand? Of course it's worth 20 grand. But here's what.
No, it's not.
Again, this does not leave this room. Agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. She's going to be rolling this out for $11,997, and includes everything, all the bonuses, everything. So $11,997.
No thanks.
And she wants to credit each of you back $2,000. So you're all hanging system members. Let's just consider the $2,000 account. All right. So $99.97.
No
And
fucking way, mate.
I
Go
can
fuck
authorize
yourself.
to double it.
No way.
Call it a super duper
Piss off.
something something.
See?
Great. I don't care what we call it.
This is where she's making her money. Think about that.
You got everything. $79.97.
Piss off.
I will see you in Vegas, and we'll be seeing you within 24 to 48 hours in the coaching sessions. Because this training is in the station, like right now.
See, this is bullshit. You know, I don't want to do this.
It's happening right now.
Fuck off.
So that's what's on the table for you guys.
No thanks.
Oh, and by the way, if you even need like funding sources and help,
Piss off.
It's about the money. We know how to do the money thing. People use other people's money to get businesses going every single day, like real money, like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. We're talking pennies. Okay, so if this is what you want, and if you got like a money consideration around that, I'll talk. We'll talk one-on-one. All right. So anyway,
See, there's 110 grand just like that.
And you guys are having like the red carpet rolled out for you here. This is a gift. So
I want to do this.
yeah, I want to do
Yes,
it
I
too.
want it.
Sign me up, damn
I
it.
want it, but
Okay.
I will talk about the money factor little bit. So,
Yeah, I will. Here's what I'll do, because I need a potty break. I don't know about anybody else. We've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. Let me see here. In order of, I will call each of you directly. Okay, in order of time zone. So from latest to earliest, right? So we don't have any Brits here. Right
No
now,
thanks.
So, Jacqueline, you're on East Coast, right? And then we have Clarence, right? And then right, Harpreet, you're in the Saskatchewan, right? And then let's see here, Dennis, right, California, and then let's see.
I'm not
here.
going down that road, buddy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
And then we have
I've had that
friends
before. I always avoid this
New
shit.
Zealand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's do that. Oh, Harpreet, right? Harpreet, you're in Saskatchewan, right? April,
Yeah.
you're in New Zealand. So April, I will get with you and Trevor in that order. Okay. Very good. Okay, guys, potty break. I say potty break because I got a 10-year-old daughter, and I've seen so many children's movies and it's ridiculous. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll start calling you guys. Okay. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much, everybody.
Awesome. I will
No
see you all
thanks.
real soon. All right. Bye for now.
Good. Thank you. Bye. Good.